This video is produced by Blind Industries and Services of Maryland, BISM, in cooperation with the Maryland State Department of Education's Division of Rehabilitation Services, DOORS. Life Enhancement Through Non-Visual Skills. Hi, I'm Deborah Stone. Welcome to Life Enhancement Through Non-Visual Skills. More than half of all blind and low vision people are age 55 or older. In this presentation, you'll learn how non-visual skills training allows blind and low vision seniors to regain control of their lives, remain in their homes, and achieve independence. Blind Industries and Services of Maryland, BISM, is one of the leaders in specialized non-visual skills training programs and services for seniors. Blind Industries and Services of Maryland offers seniors a variety of program options: center-based training, community-based workshops, in-home training, monthly support groups, and residential retreats. The first step toward accepting your need for non-visual skills training is accepting your loss of vision. When you can no longer perform the daily tasks you once did with ease, like cooking, traveling, or reading, you need to develop non-visual methods. When relying on your vision is no longer safe or efficient, non-visual skills training becomes necessary. If you still aren't convinced that you could use non-visual skills training, ask yourself, what have I given up since losing my vision? Chances are you've given up socializing, shopping, hobbies, and much more. With proper non-visual skills training, you no longer have to limit your ability to complete everyday tasks. You'll learn non-visual techniques for all elements of your life, including cooking, traveling, reading, computers, gardening, and crafts.
The most important thing to me, I feel, was the confidence that the instructors at BISM gave me and letting me know that I could continue to do what I had been doing, and I didn't have to really be depending on other people to assist me in doing things. I don't believe I could have gotten this type of training and a confidence builder from anywhere else that would be able to be better than what I received here at BISM.
Independent living. Independent living is one of the key components of a non-visual skills training program. Classes focus on being safe and efficient in the kitchen by using non-visual methods for prepping, cooking, and cleaning. Here are some helpful tips for making your experience in the kitchen safer and more productive.
The most important technique for a blind person in the kitchen is correct posture. When standing erect, your hands are in proper position to perform the cutting task or work safely on the stovetop. Here's Norman, and he's going to assist me in demonstrating some non-visual techniques. So Norman, I'm here at the countertop, and you'll find if you put your hand flat on the counter and feel the board, look for the knife, check to see which direction the blade is. Put the blade so the blade is down on the cutting board, and I'm going to put my hand over yours to feel. So you want to pick the knife up and make sure that the knife is, yes. Now in front of you with your left hand, stretch out and find the bowl that's here. All right, now let's take the celery and we'll chop that. Put that in the cutting board, the lengthwise, so that's going to be, and you're right-handed, that correct? Okay, very good. Now, your left hand is going to move to the end of the celery. Your right hand is going to come to your left hand. And so your left finger is going to actually feel the blade so you know where it is. And then it's going to move away to the left. Now you can pick up the knife and put it on the celery and slice the celery there. And as you slice, your left finger is going to be always to the left of the knife and slide down the celery as you chop. Very good. And it should have a nice click sound when that blade goes from the knife through the celery. So the next thing we're going to do is work on measuring. So Norman, we're going to use a set of measuring cups, and these are nesting measuring cups. So the largest is a cup, a half cup, third and a fourth cup. You can see how they fit inside each other. I'm going to give you some rice. And when we measure rice in the bowl here, you can use the smallest one, the fourth cup, and dip it into the rice. We can do that for rice and sugar. If we were measuring flour, we'd use a spoon and spoon the flour into the cup. With your left hand, put the measuring cup right down on the rim of the bowl, I should say. So with your left hand, here's the butter knife, it's just a butter knife, and you're going to go across the cup. So you take out the excess and the rice will fall into your bowl, not on your countertop. Might as well keep our kitchen clean and neat. Okay, very good. Now check with your hand to see if that's full. Does it feel full?
Yes.
Level? Very good. Okay, you've got a 1/4 measuring cup. Very good. When a person loses vision, they often lose depth perception. What often occurs is that the person has the coffee pot in one hand and the cup in the other. They pick both up and somehow they don't meet, and a person can then burn their hand when the coffee spills, not in the cup but on the hand. So here's a better technique that you can use. Leave the cup on the countertop or table that you're going to use. With your right hand, which is the dominant hand, if that's what you're using to pour the coffee, bring the coffee pot directly next to the cup. My left hand then is going to check the spout of the coffee maker to make certain that it's lined up correctly. Then my left hand is going to go around the mug so I'll be able to feel the heat of the coffee as it pours into the mug. I lift up the coffee pot and tilt it into my cup. And I can feel it pouring into the mug. And when I think I should stop, I will do that. The fear of burning themselves or their homes often deters many blind seniors from cooking, and often their health suffers. With the help of non-visual skills training, you can, once again, cook on the stovetop or in the oven safely. As a newly blind senior, you don't have to give up cooking. You can continue to cook in the way that you used to, but using some new methods. If your vision has declined to the point that you are bending down and looking at the burner to see the flame to know if the heat has come on, you need to develop another non-visual technique. When the burner is turned off, you can put the pan on the burner and center it. Check the sides of the pan with both hands so that you're checking the burner from front to back and on both sides to make certain that it's really centered. The food will cook more evenly at that point also. Make sure your pan handle is turned to the side so that the pan handle is not in front. You might come along and knock your pan, and again you could be burned or injured. Once your pan is stabilized and you know that it's centered, then you're ready to put the food in the pan. Then you want to make certain that you've turned on the correct burner. When I turn on the gas stove that we have here, I should hear the ignition. I should hear the whoosh of the gas coming through the little circuits, and I should be able to feel the heat. So I'm going to turn the burner on. I hear the whoosh, I hear the ignition, and I'm going to check the flame, and I feel the heat and can regulate the heat to the temperature that I want. So let's talk about baking now and putting items in the oven and getting things in the pan. What we have, Norman, you've made the cake batter and followed the directions on the box. So now you want to put the cake in the pan. So make sure that the pan is lined up with the bowl so that when you're going to pour the batter from the bowl into the pan, we don't pour it on the counter someplace else. Right, why don't you take the bowl in your left hand here and your scraper in the right hand, and feel so that your finger kind of touches so you know where the bowl is, or the pan is in relation. So you want to scoop some of that out. Okay, not a whole lot there. Once you get that batter in the pan, then we can level it out with the spatula. And then you want to take your spatula and run it around the pan from one side to the other and from one corner to the other, and make sure it's level. The batter is evenly distributed in the pan. Okay, we have marked this electric oven with feelable markings, which are called bump dots. So they will give an indication of the setting of the temperature and the on and off button. Norman, what you're going to do first is find the handle of the oven and pull the oven door down all the way. You're going to check out the rack and find out where it is. When you know where it is, then you can come back to the counter and pick up your cake and bring it over to the oven and put it in the oven.
good.
Things that you once took for granted become more challenging when you lose your vision, such as locating an outlet to plug in an appliance, or finding objects like utensils and serving dishes on the dining room table. To plug in an appliance, you'll need two hands. One hand you will take the plug and hold the two prongs. With the other hand, you're going to look on the wall for the socket. When you've located the socket, bring the plug end to the socket and insert it in the holes. When blind or losing vision, dining out can be an uncomfortable experience. So here are some tips that will help you locate items on the table in front of you. Start with your fingertips touching the edge of the table and move your hands forward, locating the plate so you have your fingertips on either side of the plate, and check out the silverware that's next to the plate, moving your hands carefully but firmly so that your fingers are still touching the table. You can go to the top of the plate and you'll be able to locate other plates, a bread plate, a dessert plate, and glasses. And you'll be able to find the glass that has the stem so that you'll touch the stem of the glass first and then be able to move your hand upward to pick up the glass. That way you won't spill items when you just reach across at random looking for items on the table.
As you lose your vision, handling money becomes more of a challenge. Through proper non-visual skills training, blind and low vision seniors learn how to distinguish money and keep track of it.
Folding money is a very useful technique for distinguishing what bills you have. You can tell the coins by their shape and their size and the edges, whether a smooth edge or a rough edge. To tell your denominations, fold the 5s in half, and the 10s are generally folded in quarters. Usually the larger the bill, the smaller the fold is made. Once you have mastered how to handle money non-visually, then you will be able to shop with more confidence. When going shopping, whether at a grocery store or at a department store, you can get assistance at the customer service desk. Ask for a shopper assistant, and the store will be happy to have an employee shop with you.
Could you let me have an aid with shopping?
Sure, I'll get someone for you. I'll be right with you.
If you're grocery shopping, of course, you are going to want to have a print list that the assistant can use in checking off the items you need aisle by aisle. You can ask the shopper assistant for some information also about items, such as expiration dates and some things that are on sale or the sizes that are available.
All right, we got 3 different sizes of milk. Do you need a whole gallon, a whole 1 gallon, a half a gallon, or a quart?
1/2 gallon thing.
Knowing what you want, though, can be very helpful, so the person assisting you will be able to help you get the items that you really want. When paying at a store, it is recommended that you give the clerk folded bills and identify them.
That's a $20 bill.
$20, I'm giving you $20 bill. Identify each denomination of bill for me, please.
It's 1, 5, and then your receipt.
Also, ask for identification of the bills when you receive change. In addition to folding your bills, a section wallet can be helpful in storing money so that you can locate each denomination.
The cooking classes and stuff, I wouldn't be able to prepare my meal and stuff like that. I wouldn't be able to operate in the kitchen in a safe manner without burning myself or cutting myself. I live on my own, cooking and cleaning and using a knife and the different kitchen utensils for a year now, and I haven't cut myself or hurt myself yet. And I've never set off the fire alarm, you know, so it helped a lot.
Braille and communication. The universal non-visual method for reading and writing is Braille. Learning Braille will allow you to once again enjoy things you may have given up when you lost your vision, like magazines, books, writing, and much more.
Do not be intimidated by learning Braille. Braille is very simple. It's a configuration of 6 dots. 3 dots on the left, 3 dots on the right. The dots on the left we call dots 1, 2, and 3. The dots on the right we call them dots 4, 5, and 6. From these 6 dots, Louis Braille invented the 26 letters of the alphabet. Braille is tactile, it's not visual. And in the classroom today, I'll be handing you things that you can touch. Because you cannot see, you've got to learn to use your fingers, use your tactile information. There are 2 basic methods of learning Braille. A Braille writer is like a typewriter, actually. It's just that in a regular typewriter, you have many keys. In a Braille writer, you have 6 dots and your space bar, along with the other keys to move your paper back and forth. We can put our hands up and feel, as the paper moves forwards, feel if we have made a mistake, which we can correct. The other form of writing in Braille is with the slate and stylus. There is a method in putting the paper in. There is also a method in moving your stylus down on the paper. But in the slate, we can now punch in our dots in the proper place to get our letters made. Braille is an effective way of, storing information like your phone numbers. Tactile labeling allows you to differentiate between items that are similar. Braille is one of the most important things that a blind person or a person even dealing with low vision can have. They can, return to a normal way of living which they thought they had given up. Now with Braille, you can read and write once more. And that gives you back a lot of your independence and a feeling of well-being.
Braille opened up the world to me in a way that I really thought was lost to me. Something as simple as writing a personal note to myself or journaling and not wanting to necessarily have others involved in it. That was real important to me. And then sometimes just to be able to write down a phone number and not always having to engage other people in something that small. And if you're only doing that once in a while, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but when you're living a life where you're doing it all the time, it becomes a real problem. And so being able to do that for myself just meant one less thing I had to get other people involved in, and that just felt so wonderful to me. It just it made me recognize that independence was definitely something that I could acquire again in my life.
Adapted computer technology. In this technological age, we use computers for all kinds of things, paying bills, making purchases, communicating with friends and family, and that doesn't have to change when you lose your vision. Adapted computer technology introduces programs that are specifically designed for blind and low vision computer users.
Computers are an integral part of living for blind and visually impaired seniors, just as they are for everybody else. Computer literacy begins with learning how to use the keyboard, and the old method of hunt and peck just doesn't work. You have to learn touch typing, which relies on knowledge of the keyboard in order to create documents, go through websites, or create emails. And we work one-on-one with seniors to go through exercises to teach touch typing. An important element for learning the keyboard and being successful with the computer is the use of screen reading software such as JAWS, which allows you to hear each key as it's being pressed and allows you to hear what you're typing.
T, Y, E, E.
Quarter.
Quarter.
Q, U, A, R, T, E, R.
The internet is a principal way for blind seniors to communicate with the outside world and gain information. Screen reading software will allow the senior to navigate through websites and search engines, as well as read and write email messages. You might not have had much experience with a computer before you lost your vision, but learning the computer through non-visual techniques will give you greater independence and confidence.
With the computer, I first imagined, when I first heard JAWS, I thought, all right, I can write with this, I can print it, I can get my own printer, send this stuff off, just as I would have before I lost my vision, just as I have been planning to do much of my life and working away as I could at writing fiction. And the use JAWS, when I heard that, when Roger introduced me the first day I was there, I thought, this just solves everything. This just solves everything in my life in the direction of what I wanted to do and had given up being able to do. I was still writing with a tape player, but the computer made so much more accessible. I could just have printed it off and sent it off, and just wonderful opportunities.
Adapted devices. There are many adapted devices such as audio, tactile, and talking products that enhance the lives of blind and low vision seniors. Here's a sampling of some important devices.
Wes, this is a new digital player that's being provided by the Library for the Blind and Physically Handicapped for those patrons that are already receiving the Talking Books program. It is free of charge, and it's really nice because you have this cartridge. It's got the whole book. It goes in like that. You just press this button to turn it on.
Player on.
Emily Post, daughter of the Gilded Age.
One must-have item for blind and visually impaired seniors is a portable, easy-to-use digital recorder. We recommend that seniors have these with them to record information such as phone numbers, lesson ideas, recipes, etc., anything that they want to record and keep handy. As seniors lose vision, they also feel that they lose their ability to dial the telephone, and dialing the phone visually can be tricky. However, through non-visual techniques, the senior can find the raised dot, which is usually located on the 5 on the telephone pad. And then through finding that raised dot, on that same row, you can use 3 fingers to find 4, 5, and 6 on that row, 1, 2, 3 on the row above it, 7, 8, 9 below that row with the 5, and the zeros below the 8. Through practice and using those techniques, the senior can once again independently dial the telephone.
Orientation and mobility. One of the first things seniors give up when they lose their vision is traveling independently. Most begin to rely on family members and friends to walk with them, often holding on to their companion's arm. But there are limitations to using a sighted guide, the most obvious being that you can't travel when you don't have a companion. Blind and low vision seniors need to learn how to travel independently, and non-visual skills training can do just that.
The long white cane is the most effective tool for a blind senior to travel independently. It gives instantaneous information about the surrounding environment and is much more reliable than depending on inconsistent or low vision. By learning the proper way to use a long white cane and the sound prompts from the tip of the cane, a senior can walk down the street, up and down stairs, around their homes independently, and anywhere else they choose to go. The long white cane should rest in the dominant hand with the palm up. The cane should be gripped by the thumb and the middle and ring fingers, with the index finger along the shaft of the cane. The white cane is moved left to right in front of the senior. When taking a step with the right foot forward, the white cane moves to the left side, and vice versa. With practice, the white cane traveler develops a rhythm between the movement of the cane and their feet. When encountering a different surface, the cane traveler will hear a sound and feel a difference from the cane tip to the handle. The long white cane also allows you to recognize a stationary object and move easily around it. There are specific sound cues unique to being inside and outside. With non-visual skills training, you will learn how to recognize the different surfaces and sound cues, along with how to safely navigate through streets, shopping areas, and your home. The long white cane is a low vision or blind senior's best tool for independence. You can control where and when you travel and you don't have to rely on someone else to get you there. Our individualized approach evaluates each senior's unique needs and structures their training accordingly.
BISM prepares you. It gives you an avenue by which you can be independent in your life. You don't have to wait for somebody else. You can go to the store or whatever. My biggest problem when I run into people is that they're in denial. It is important for, and I share this with people, and I've actually recommended people to BISM, and I said, look, just check it out. You know, don't take my word for it. Come and find out for yourself.
What you've seen and heard on this DVD is just an introduction to the many benefits of non-visual skills training. You can receive nationally recognized non-visual skills training at Blind Industries and Services of Maryland. Hundreds of blind and low-vision seniors take advantage of the programs and services Blind Industries and Services of Maryland provides each year at no cost. Now, it's your turn. For more information about Blind Industries and Services of Maryland's senior programs and services, or for questions about non-visual techniques, please call toll-free 888-322-4567 or call your state rehabilitation agency to learn if non-visual training programs are available in your area.
Special thanks to the following: BISM Senior Services staff and students, Mars Supermarket, Arbutus, Maryland, www.marsfood.com. Rolling Stock Pictures, LLC, Arlington, Virginia, www.rollingstockpictures.com. Blind Industries and Services of Maryland, BISM, offers senior programs at our locations in Baltimore, 888-322-4567. Cumberland, 888-267-4111. Salisbury, 888-749-1366. Copyright 2010, Blind Industries and Services of Maryland. All rights reserved. www.bism.org.